go. That good old Baylor line, that good old Baylor line, will march forever down the years as long as stars shall shine. We'll glean the green and gold afar to light the waves of time and guide us as we onward go. That good old Baylor line. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, ever so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you will, please stay standing and be taken praise when we are in invocation. Thank you. Let's talk to God for a minute. Father God, during my lifetime, I've seen the words truth, integrity, and ethics slowly being replaced with alternative words such as spin, clever, and true. Words that don't necessarily have the same meaning, but are being used as though they do. Well, they do not. Many people spend each day in a life that is a total mystery to others, not wishing to reveal anything about themselves out of fear they may be giving up some measure of power to another. Surely this is not what the Creator intended. Father, our prayer today is that when each of our lives has ended, hopefully people will remember us not as a life lived, but as a life lived well, a life lived for the benefit of all. As Rotarians, leaders, and yes, coaches, may the example and influence of our lives show that the words truth, integrity, and ethics still mean something important, something to be celebrated, something to inspire. In the name of the one true God, of Abraham and Ishmael. Amen. Okay, please be seated. Now to introduce our guests, we have Kim Patterson.
Thank you, Tyler. Okay, we are very excited to welcome numerous guests today. Our first is Wesley Brooks, who is a guest of Jacob Bell. Wesley, if you could give us a name. Hi, Wesley. Thank you. Anthony Johnson, who is a visiting Rotarian from Lake Brazos Rotary. Hi, Anthony. Tom Koshik, a guest of Kyle Ballou. Hi, Tom. Jimmy Schwartz, a guest of Tyler Martin. Hi, Jimmy. Hi, Jimmy. Sean Tropham is my guest. He is our MCC Athletic Director over here on the right. Glad to have her with us. Hector Sabito is a guest of Curtis Brown today. Hi, Hector. And Michael Wright is also a guest of Curtis Brown. Anybody that we missed? All right, welcome to, Randy Cox is here. Yay! Randy Cox, guest of Cape Paul. All right, thanks for coming.
guests out there today. Thank you for that, Kim. And now we're Dr. Morrison, if you will introduce our student guests.
It's my honor to introduce some Riesel Indians to you today. We got some feedback. Let's move this way. We're still battling technology here at the Baylor Club. Okay, our guests from Riesel are accompanied by Tempest Miskell. Can you stand up, Tempest, from Student Services? And just as an aside, her husband is the baseball coach at Riesel High School. Fits in today. And then Crystal Wilson is with the administration there, and also the mother of this big guy. But I'll start with Abigail Hughes. And both of these kids are seniors and got dual credit at MCC, so we're really pleased with that. Abigail's mother are Mary and Jonathan, and she has 3 brothers, Nathan, Isaac, and Jeremiah. She's in varsity basketball, softball, track, and cross country. And, of course, National Honor Society, you would expect to have 1-act play, FFA, and peer leadership. And in FFA, she was a state finalist in some of the FFA contests. And she is also a private in the Texas National Guard. And I'll let her tell us about her future plans, Abigail.
Thank you. So, first of all, thank you for having us here. The food has been great. Everybody's been so welcoming, and it's been a great experience so far. Some of my future goals is right after I graduate, I go to basic training in Fort Jackson, South Carolina, which is pretty cool. I'm going to be there for about 10 weeks, and after that, I'll either be going to my job training, which is called AIT, and I'll be going there for human resources, or I'll be attending Texas State for the first 2 semesters, and then going to my AIT training. At Texas State, I plan to major in history and attain my bachelor's there, as well as go through their honor programs and gain some more knowledge and studies to that as well. After college, I don't know if I want to obtain a doctorate for history as well and start teaching, or if I should continue my military role and become a second lieutenant in the Texas Army National Guard.
Good guy. This guy's big too. This is you meet Greg Wilson. His mother Crystal's here with him, and father Clint. He has a sister Maggie. He's a National Honor Society and has set dual credit at MCC. Played football and golf. He's involved in the FFA and Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and he also volunteers as an umpire and a coach. Worships at Harris Creek. And he is involved in a Riesel community project called the Health Advisory Committee. So Grady, tell us your plans after you graduate.
Thank you. Thank you for all of us, or thank you for having us here. We really appreciate it. I plan to attend Texas Tech next semester and major in nursing and health sciences. I will obtain a dual bachelor's degree, and after that I plan to work as an ICU nurse for a couple of years, then go back and obtain my doctorate in nursing practice and nursing anesthesia.
Thank you, Eddie. Thank you to our student guests, a couple of really bright young children. Thank you to the administrators for bringing them here today. Today we have some Paul Harris Fellow recognitions we'd like to make. A member becomes a Paul Harris Fellow when they reach a total of $1,000 in contributions to the Rotary Foundation. At each additional $1,000, the foundation recognizes members with a plus designation. If I could get Cecil Donald and Susan Ants to come up. Cecil and Susan. Cecil and Susan, if you'll come up. Cecil has been a member of the Waco Rotary for 47 years and was club president from 1999. His father, Lee Donald, was also a long-time Rotarian. In 2021, Cecil's daughter, Susan, became a third-generation Rotarian, and she now serves our club as club treasurer. Cecil honored Susan by making her a Paul Harris Fellow, and we would like Cecil to present Susan with her certificate of fellowship. In addition, Cecil is a Paul Harris Fellow +5, and he has contributed over $6,000 to the Rotary Foundation. Congratulations, Susan, and thank you, Cecil.
He really hasn't left me anything anything to say. But Dad felt very strongly about this organization. Back then, perfect attendance was something to attempt to achieve, and he did that for 50 years. And as a young man, watched him attend Rotary clubs, even when it wasn't very convenient. But congratulations.
Bob Allen, can you come up, please? Bob has been a club member for 45 years. Thank you for that, Bob. We are especially happy to see him today for two reasons. One, he had a major heart attack last year, or heart surgery last year, and is recovering well from that. But he also teaches a long-standing Bible study class on Tuesdays at noon. So he has made arrangements to be here today, but he's also, I heard, made some arrangements to have a substitute so he can come to the Rotary Club maybe every other meeting or so we're glad for that happened. Bob is receiving his Paul Harris Fellow +1 pin today. And finally, Dr. Morrison, would you mind coming back up? Eddie has been a member for 34 years and is the past president of our club from 1999 to 2000. Today, he's receiving not only his +5 pin, but he's also going to receive his +4 pin. Because of COVID, we never got those to him, so he's receiving both his +5 and his +4. Thank you for your contribution to the foundation. I really encourage everyone to participate in the Rotary Foundation and give to the extent you can, but the Paul Harris Fellow is a very special award to receive, and I appreciate all those that are either on their way or have already received those. And now our chair today, Lou Ray.
Thank you, President Tyler. Appreciate a chance to be in front of you for a little bit on the microphone. The first thing I'd like to say is we have the privilege and honor to have listening to a Baylor's head baseball coach, Mitch Thompson, and I'll say to him, welcome home. Now, in the summary of some of his background, I just tell you very quickly, he's a leader of young men. He recognizes talent. He recognizes potential talent, and he develops it. He is fantastic. 30 years worth of coaching has produced all this result. Now, here are some other details about him. Coach was selected, as you probably have read in the paper, 20th head baseball coach in Baylor's program. He served as head coach at McLennan for 9 years with an average of .728 winning percentage. And then also 18 years as assistant coach here in Baylor. Coach Thompson's originally from the metropolitan area of Goodland, Texas. If you're not familiar with Goodland, it's right next to Bird City, okay? And he also went to school at Fort Hays, where he earned his degree, and was an honors graduate and was all conference honors in baseball, as well as captain of the team, in the senior year. He also went on to earn a master's degree in physical education at Mississippi State in 1991. He's married to Amber and two wonderful daughters, Mary Conley and Caroline, who are both Baylor graduates. Some of the specific coaching experience and successes he's had centered around working with a legendary coach of Ron Polk at Mississippi State. If you're not familiar with Coach Polk, he wrote a book of about 572 pages. It's called the Baseball Bible, and it is just loaded with all kinds of wonderful thoughts and experiences. But Coach Thompson went on to win in 1990 the College World Series, which is quite an honor. He also served as a scouting supervisor for the Kansas City Royals, and he coached back-to-back College World Series appearances, and won the 2021 national title. He's had numerous regional and district championships, and and mentored 16 Major League draft picks. Please help me welcome Coach Mitch Thompson.
Thank you, Luke. It's awesome to be here. It's great to see everybody and to be back here. I love hearing Luke talk about my playing career, because one thing that has happened to me, and you'll understand this, is every year I'm a little further away from playing. I can find out I was a little better. It's just the way it works, you know. It's simpler. I don't know. But really impressed with you two kids. What you guys, I mean, hear you guys talk about your plans and what you've got figured out. That's awesome. Unbelievable. Go get it, right? Now, the one thing, you know, the volunteer umpire thing, not so sure that that's a special thing. I think every umpire I ever met ought to be volunteer. I don't think you should have to pay for any of it. But, you know, whatever. I guess the thought process is good anyhow, right? What a pleasure it is to be back here and to be the head coach at Baylor. What an absolute blessing. And every day I can assure you, as I walk into the ballpark, there's a smile on my face. I'm humbled, I'm challenged, I'm invigorated, and we're going to build this thing back to greatness. That's the idea, okay? We want to win national championships, okay? And we're working on doing that right now. I want to talk to you real quickly just a little bit about our team. And, you know, some of these people that are here with us, you know, Sam Blaylock and John Swally and Max Calderon are all big parts of our team, and they help in lots of different ways. But we've got an interesting season coming up, right? It's going to be the first one. The other thing I need to say first off is just, you know, I got a text message last week from Mother Johnette, as she called herself to me, but she is, right? I mean, Mother Johnette, she sent me a text message that said, I'm not going to be able to be there Tuesday. I think she was letting me know so I wouldn't get my feelings hurt. But we miss her, but I think she got the message out to the rest of the MCC crowd. You guys get over there. So to see Kim and Sean and Randy and Kate Paul, everybody, it's great to see you guys. And you guys were saviors for me, so I appreciate that. But we've got an interesting season coming up. We're getting ready to get started Sunday. This past Sunday was our first day of practice. We're in an individual period right now, so we're limited in time, but it was our first day back. I'll tell you that our guys are all come back. They're healthy. That's good. They all look like they're in shape. It looks like they did what we asked them to do. So I'm excited about that. They looked improved to me. They looked physically bigger to me, which is all good stuff, you know. And so they're bought in. But we're getting ready to start up this season, and on February 17th, a month from today, will be the start. And we're going to play 36 home games here. We've got a 36 home game schedule, which is awesome. I'm really looking forward to that. 18 of our first 21 games are here. And just to tell you a little bit about our ball club, we returned some leadership and some experience on the mound. We don't return a whole lot of leadership or experience on the position player side of things. We have one returning starter, position player wise, and we returned 2 home runs on the whole team, both of them. We returned both home runs. Okay, so the lineup is going to be a whole new lineup of players that you've never seen play before. But they're working at it, they're getting after it, and we're going to figure out how to get the very most out of them to get them the experience that they need, so we continue to grow this thing. But if you're going to be veteran on one side of the field than the other, be veteran on the mound. And we've got some veterans on the mound that are back, some leadership there, and so I'm excited. I think that we're going to be able to put together a very competitive ball club. Where are we going to finish? I don't know. One of the reasons I don't know is I don't know what everybody else has. We're in the process of trying to figure it all out, but I know that our guys are all in and we're all ready to go. And you know, just to tell you what we're looking for in our players. You know, you've heard me say this before. I'm really looking for three things in the guys that we put together in the program. I'm looking for number one, a baseball playing fool. And I mean that with all my heart. I want somebody who wants to play in the big leagues, who loves it, eats it, drinks it, sleeps it, can't get enough of it. You know, coach hit me more, go to work. I want guys who want to play in the big leagues. You know, because if you don't want to play in the big leagues, then what are you shooting for? You may as well shoot for the highest thing that you can accomplish. And goodness knows in our world, there's a whole lot of people shooting for less than that. So we need guys who are shooting to be the best. And I've been really appreciative of that. The second thing is I want our guys to be good students. I want them to understand the value of education. And you know, one of the things that's kind of odd in college athletics now is we got all this NIL stuff that we're having to try and deal with and learn about and do. And it kind of blows me away as a coach, because I sit here and think, since when is a college degree not of value? You know, we are providing these kids with opportunities to get the bus ticket that will prepare them for the rest of their lives. And I think there's great value in that. But I want kids to understand that value of education. They're going to go to class, make grades, and knock it out of the ballpark, and get a Baylor degree that'll go with them for the rest of their lives. And we've been fortunate that we've got a good bunch of kids who take care of their business. I mean, we had a 3.24 team GPA this fall. Our guys knocked it out of the ballpark. Very impressed with them there. So baseball playing fool, a guy's going to understand the value of education. And then the third thing is we're looking for a good person, a good kid from a good family. Because I'm just too old to deal with guys who aren't. Okay? And that's just a fact. I mean, you know, I don't have time. I don't want to be chasing guys down. I want to be moving people forward. I don't want to have to be kicking anybody down the street. And you know, Baylor's one of those places that kind of recruits those type of people. If you're a screw up, that's probably not your place. And one of the things that I love about our school is that we're unique. We're different than other places. You know, we're different. We're not a 60,000 student campus. We're not a concrete jungle. We've got 15,000 undergraduates. We've got 5,000 graduate students. You know, the average class size is small. We're unique, and we're right here in the middle of the state of Texas. We got weather. We got everything else that goes with it. So we're going to be able to put together the people over the next several years that are going to help us do exactly what we're talking about doing. And you guys need to know that my staff, I'm blown away at the caliber of our staff that we've been able to put together, our coaches, our support staff. The school has been unbelievable to us. You know, when I say that Baylor cares about developing the whole person, and you know, Mac Rhodes always says, hey, what's our job here? Our job is preparing champions for life, okay? And part of that is spiritual growth and development. You guys know that I have a $25,000 paid position for a team chaplain. How cool is that? There's no other school in the country doing that stuff. There's no other place to do it. And so we hired Byron Weathersby and Bob Johns to come do that. Each of them are splitting that thing up. And they were going to do it for free, but they get a little paycheck on top of it. So we're really invested in those guys, and I'm so blessed with Zach Dillon as our recruiting coordinator, hitting coach, James Leverton, who was with me over at McLennan as our pitching guy, Jim Blair, former Baylor player, as our volunteer assistant, who hopefully will be a full-time guy here soon because the NCAA has changed their number of coaches that we can have, and so that'll be an unbelievable deal. Darren Thomas is our director of operations, and Brian Furlong is our director of player development. And so you add all those guys up, along with Bo Howland, our own strength coach, and my goodness, we've got everything we need to try and put this thing together. So, a couple things that I need to let you know, okay? And I want you to get excited about. You need to come out to the ballpark and come see us play, okay? I promise you we're going to play hard. I promise you we're going to compete like champions. I'm not going to promise you we're going to win every game. That's not going to happen. But I promise you we're going to compete. I promise you we're going to get to the point where we're sure winning a whole lot more than we're losing. We've already sold more season tickets for this year than they have in each of the past 2 seasons. Okay, we're already there. We're 1 month away. We need to blow it away. You play a role. I need you in the stands. I need you caring. Okay, I need you showing these kids that you care. And so I'm just encouraging you. If you haven't already purchased your tickets, come on, let's go. We need you there. And I'm going to promise you, you're going to want to be there here soon. Okay? You're going to like the kids we have here right now. They're competing. They're going to be fine. But you're going to want to be here soon. How many of you were here in the Baylor ballpark in 2005 when we won this regional and super regional to go to Omaha? You guys remember that moment? Pretty cool, right? I mean, it has to go up there in your top 3, 4, 5 Baylor moments of all time. For sure. I mean, come on, Scott won the national championship. Women's basketball's won the national game. That has to go up there pretty good, right? And for sure being here at Waco. That's what we're trying to create again. And so we need you there. Like I said, we've already sold more season tickets than we have last year. So with 1 month to go, let's blow it out of the water. We need you there. Second thing is that we're going to be in the process of hopefully doing some things to add to the ballpark, to add to our facilities in the near future. If you can get on board, we're going to need you. And the Heart of the Order is a group that we have that's basically our excellence fund. Many of you have heard of it before. We would love for you to join. We're going to put on 5, 6, 7 different luncheons and dinners throughout the course of the spring, give you an inside look into our program, get to meet our guys, and the money that we raise from that is definitely a difference maker. So if you can join that Heart of the Order. I'll tell you, we're getting great response from the former players. I want you to know that already Max Muncy has come up. I saw Max this fall. Max is putting together a very significant gift for Baylor baseball. And couldn't be more proud of him and his success. And I think it says so much about his love for this place. And that's what we're trying to create. We're just trying to create that love for this place and love for the people that's involved with this thing. So I want your help. I know you heard during the press conference that I said we're going to do this together, #together. And you have a role, so come on, we need you. And we're going to try and make it as much fun as we can for you as soon as you get out there. Now, you know that this weather right now in January, it's kind of freaking me out. Okay, because I'm kind of scared we're wasting it right now. We might need this in February. I think February might be cold now, I don't know, but if it is, put on a coat, we need you out there. You know, the last thing I'm going to say is just this. A couple days ago, Mac Rhodes and the staff, they had the leadership committee meeting, which basically is all the head coaches, the upper athletic directors, the leadership team. And they called me up about 2 days before and said, hey, we want you to lead the prayer and the devotion before the event. And I thought, if this isn't some form of hazing, I don't know. You know, let's get the new guy and let's throw this on. And I told them that. I said, this is either a form of hazing or you are really concerned, you want to get to know me and you want me to feel welcome. They said that was it, so I'll take it at their word. The second thing is they told me that it needed to be about 3 minutes long. And so I went for about 18 to 20 minutes, and I'm figuring they'll never ask me back. But I want to share with you one thought, okay? One thought that I want you to take with you that's kind of on a serious note, and I think it's a personal deal for all of us, okay? We all saw about 2 weeks ago the Buffalo Bills situation with DeMar Hamlin when he went down on the field. Collapsed. They're performing CPR on him on the field. Okay? And we all saw that immediately the players that were on the field, the coaches, everybody's response was to hit their knees in prayer. We even saw on ESPN, okay, ESPN broadcasters on open air praying openly. I just feel the need to pray, and they prayed. And I thought it was awesome, right? I'm sharing this with you because this was part of the devotion, okay? I'm in an accountability group with several people that are really good friends of ours. We meet once a week. We care for each other. We pray for each other. We're reading a book. The book right now is called Prayer by Richard Foster. So I saw that, and I thought, hey, there's my devotion. Okay? It seems to me, and for me, I know this is true. Okay? There's typically about 4 times we pray. Number 1 is we pray when it's crisis mode. When we are in the middle of the storm, when there's nowhere else to go, we are hopeless, we are helpless. God, we need you. We saw it in Northampton. 2, we pray when we're asking for a blessing. God, I need your help. I need this job. Father, I need your help. Take care of my family, or whatever. 3, we pray for forgiveness. That's probably my biggest one. Okay? God, I've screwed up. I need your forgiveness. And then the fourth time that we pray is when we're thanking God for a blessing. Well, the book that I was reading talks about a 5th time that we ought to try and pray. And I want to share this with you because I thought it was powerful. It's called the prayer of rest. And here's a little excerpt from the book. I'm just going to read this. How do we enter the prayer of rest? It is here that we face a serious dilemma because our tendency is on the one hand to take firm control, or on the other hand to do absolutely nothing. We most often begin by tackling prayer in the same way we have been taught to tackle every other problem, by hard work. We grit it out, intensify our willpower, and try. In reality, this is a pagan concept of prayer in which we rouse the gods to action by our many incantations and vain repetitions. Anthony Bloom tells the story of an elderly woman who had been working in prayer with all her might, but without ever sensing God's presence. Wisely, the Archbishop encouraged the old woman to go to her room each day and for 15 minutes knit before the face of God. But I forbid you to say one word of prayer. You just knit and try to enjoy the peace of your room. The woman received this counsel, and her first only thought was, oh, how nice. I have 15 minutes during which I can do nothing without being guilty. In time, however, she began to enter the silence created by her knitting. Soon she said, I perceived that this silence was not simply an absence of noise, but that the silence had substance. It was not absence of something, but presence of something. As she continued her daily knitting, she discovered that at the heart of the silence, there was He, who is all stillness, all peace, and all poise. She had to let go of her tight-fisted efforts to enter God's presence, and by doing so, discovered God's presence was already there. My thought just for all of us is this. The God of the universe, He wants to hear us when it's crisis time. He wants to hear us, but He wants to sit down and have a relationship with us. And I know that every time I've ever heard the voice of God, it hasn't been Mitch. It's been Mitch. And so I'm trying, as I know I'm going to need prayer as we get going through this spring, okay? I'm going to try to get 15 minutes. And I just encourage each and every one of you to do the exact same thing. Because I bet we hear from Him, and I bet we feel it. And then we'll know when crisis time comes that we're okay. So I hope you didn't mind me sharing that. I'm going to open this up real quick for questions and answers. I'd love to share with you more about the players, I guess, if you have any questions about that or about our staff or something. But any quick questions I can answer? Yes, sir.
Who are some of the non-con opponents we got?
Yeah, we are going to open up with Central Michigan, 3 games. Central Michigan is the predicted champion of the MAC conference. They've won it the last 2 years, been an NCAA regional team. The last 2 seasons, we're going to open up with them. We're going to play at Duke, so we go play at the ACC, play Duke University 3 games. We then come home and play Youngstown State for 4 and Mercer for 3. Mercer University from Georgia. Mercer's another mid-major program that's been in NCAA tournaments here in recent years, really good. So our non-conference it's a good non-conference schedule, not necessarily with all the big name schools that you've heard of always, and this and that, but really good baseball schools that have great baseball tradition. And so they'll be very challenging for us. But 18 out of the first 21 here at the ballpark, we need to get off to a hot start. That's basically a non-conference schedule, and I think it's a good one for us. Yes, sir. Hang on.
You mentioned earlier your staff. What is the director of player development?
Yeah, it's been a new position for me too, right? When I was here at Baylor the first 18 years, there was just us, just the coaches, no operations, no player development. Director of player development is really the guy that's in charge of all the analytics of the game now. Okay, and there's tremendous analytics in the game. You know, whether you think of miles per hour or the spin rate of the pitches. How far guys can hit balls, how their strength affects their game. So the director of player development is looking for ways to help each of our guys to improve themselves analytically. Okay, how are we going to take advantage of what he does well and make that work? He's also the guy that helps us put together all of our scouting reports and coming up with the thought process as to how we're going to attack our opponents based upon their analytics. You know, and what do we mean by analytics? Well, there's guys who have high spin rate fastballs, that are really high spin rate fastballs. Well, those are guys that can pitch up in the zone. And they throw their fastball and it looks like it rises on you. You think it's a pitch to hit, but it's not a pitch to hit. You can't hit. It's going to be 92, 94. It's up in the zone. You can't catch up with it. You think you can, but you can't. Well, if you know a little bit about what he is and what he does, then you can know that, hey, I've got to make sure that if I'm swinging the bat, I'm swinging at a ball that starts down in the zone. Because if it starts at mid part of the zone, I'm not going to catch up. And then there's other things with the spin rates and different things for the pitchers and the hitters. But yeah, that's what the director of player development does. And Brian Furlong is a really sharp guy. Brian came to us from Xavier University. He's got experience coaching the University of Iowa, Creighton University, Xavier, longtime friend with Zach Dillon, and he wanted a chance to be in the Power 5 conference, and so we are unbelievably blessed. I mean, he's a full-time pitching coach by trade, and really when I put together our staff, that's kind of what we've got. We've got 2 head coaches, myself and Darren Thomas, our director of operations. He's been the head coach at UT Arlington for the last 15 years. Been in college baseball for 30 years, got great experience. He's going to be a great value to me. Stand next to me in the dugout. Hey, coach, I want to think about this. Hey, thanks to you too. It's going to help me get through this. I've got 2 hitting coaches in Zach Dillon and Jim Blair, and I've got 2 pitching coaches basically in James Liverton and Brian Furlong. And so I think between the 6 of us, we can hit our guys and try and maximize their abilities in every way, shape, or form. Yes, sir.
I have two questions. One, do you anticipate any chance in the future of the NCAA switching back to wooden bats from aluminum? The crack of the bat is just not the same on aluminum.
I don't. I think it's more of a money issue. Okay, the wood bat issue. We probably can't get enough good wood across the country to make it go. And I don't think that we can afford it, to be honest with you. It's crazy. It'd be crazy to try and do that for every college program. I know that there's a whole bunch of college programs that definitely couldn't afford it. And I think it would be an interesting change in the game, no question. But, everybody likes the long ball, so the aluminum's pretty good for that. That helps. Did you have a second part?
Yes, the 3 young gentlemen you brought with you, who are they?
Yeah, Jonathan Swally is our fan engagement guy for baseball. So he's in charge of the whole production of how things go on and making sure that the fans, when they show up to the ballpark, have a good experience through music, how they get in there and everything else. So this is the guy that... Max Calderon is our baseball sports information director. He's going to be the guy that's going to be getting all the information out and getting it up on the website, getting it out, publicizing about our players and our program and what we're doing. And then Sam Blaylock is over in the Bear Foundation, and he's in charge of the Heart of the Order. And he helps us with our Heart of the Order and our fundraising parts of that. So those are the 3 guys that are with us today. My other guys are working. Well, they better be. There might be a long lunch, I don't know, but they better be working. So we're blessed. Probably the biggest change that I've seen in Baylor and coming back in 10 years is just the number of really qualified people who are really into doing their job well. And a lot of them are jobs that you don't know anything about, but you notice them if they don't do them. And so it's pretty cool to see all these people that are pulling through. Yes, ma'am.
What kind of training are your players on?
Well, 6 a.m. this morning we were lifting weights. Okay, we're lifting hard. We're going to start full-time practice here a week from this Friday. We're going to have 9 inter-squad games, hopefully if the weather holds out, that will make sure that our pitchers are ready to throw, compete in the games, and our hitters are ready to hit before we start. But that's all crammed in there. It's all weather related. You know, we're not weatherproof. We've been lifting, running, hitting, practicing since basically August in different forms. Sometimes we could have full team practice, and other times we're in individual workouts. But we're lifting 2 or 3 times a week right now, still trying to build, still trying to maintain and keep growing. And while we're also doing skill development and all that other stuff, as we're putting in our butt defenses and putting in our first and third defenses and running our offensive signs, and there's a lot of learning to go.
Mitch, I know you got a few MCC players. Do you have any other local players on the team?
Yeah, we do have. We've got 3 MCC players that were with us last year. Jared Matheson signed with Baylor during the early signing period last year. He's a pitcher, so Jared's here. And then once I got the job, I brought Danny Altman and Johnny Sicoli with us from MCC. I don't know if you know Altman was a transfer from Lamar. And when I got the job here, he was still available, and I feel like he's a Division I player. So I said, "Hey, you want to come?" He said, "Yeah." So that was easy. Sicoli was an interesting case. You guys might remember Johnny was a kid who transferred to us from Auburn and basically really struggled. I mean, the entire fall last year at MCC, struggled. Couldn't hit, couldn't play. Was so far down our depth chart that basically in the springtime he didn't get many opportunities. But he kept going and kept working and kept grinding. And I was so proud of him. With about a month to go with the season, all of a sudden Johnny is just hitting everything. And his hitting got better. He didn't quit. He fought through it. He's taking live at-bats off of some of our pitching, and he's just killing them every time he's playing. And I told him, I said, "Johnny, I don't know, but I won't be surprised if you don't come up big for us before the season's over." And I know it hasn't gone the way you wanted it, because at that time he had like 12 at-bats for the whole season. Got transferred from Auburn University to McClellan at 12. And he kept going, and I'll be doggone. We got into the regional championship games. And I made a decision. The guy who was playing first base for us had been struggling in the tournament. And I said, "You know what? I'm playing Johnny." And I wrote him in, and his first at-bat was a 3-run home run, and his next at-bat was a 2-run double. And the next day he comes back in the final championship game and hits another home run. We go to Grand Junction, and in 3 games at Grand Junction, he hits 4 more home runs. So call me stupid, but yeah, you could look at it and go, "Gosh, Coach, you saved Johnny's best for the last," or "What in the crap, Coach? How come you didn't play Johnny all year?" Well, I was smart enough to bring Johnny with us, so hopefully. But you know what? Johnny had kind of a similar fall here, where it hasn't been quite as good. And I kind of told him, I said, "Hey, dude, I didn't bring you for the fall." So we'll see if he can get it going. If he can, it'll be a good thing for us for sure. Yes, one more question. Or not. Okay. Thank you so much. Listen, we've got a role for you. You got to play it for us. Come on, let's go. We're going to build this thing great. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Coach Thompson. So looking forward to the season you got playing for us this year. 18 out of the first 21 games are at home.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Can't wait to get to those. A couple of quick announcements. I want to remind everybody about our literacy project with the Waco. That is going strong. Last month, Steve Corwin spoke to the group, and then this week, or this month, I think we have Don Lewis speaking to the group. So if you would like to go out and speak to the kids at Waco, please give it to Catherine and she'll get you on the list. And Sabrina Moore is here. If you have anything to drop off for the Challenge 2023 swag bags, she is here. Please get with her and y'all can get those swapped out. I want to re-welcome all the guests that we had today. Thank you all for being here. Re-welcome our student guests from Riesel. Congratulations to all the hard work you've put in and good luck for your ongoing plans. And then I want to remind you of our next meeting. This is a really neat program we're going to have on Tuesday, February 7th here in the Baylor Club. We're going to have Paul Hubbard, who's going to talk about the Martin Luther King, a speech about a speech. It's a very dynamic program that he's going to really break down the speech that Martin Luther King Jr. gave. And it's really, I hope you all will be back for that. So, okay, if you will, please stand. We'll recite the four-way test of the things the Rotarians say and do. Is it the truth?
Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
We are adjourned.